Like the danger literally transporting itself from or dream into reality. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm back with Astrea's Broken Heart Season 2 Episode 6. Y'all, I'm so done with the story at this point. How is it possible that we keep on having the same effed up dream? And now it actually has turned into reality. What kind of a danger could actually await us inside if it isn't for those big ass bitches that keep on giving us those nightmares? In my eyes, it's actually the bosses trying to have it sink in that we're in actual danger, hoping that we would actually accept to be locked up. So we need to tell them to shove it. But let's see. Evil can be very persuasive, you don't say. Episode 6, remember death. Of course. Okay, violent scenes and description of death. Simona pressed her forehead against the cold glass of the window and waited for dawn. One by one, the stars in the sky died, allowing newborn light to peer through the resulting void. It brought with it a new day and new hope, but she no longer trusted its deceptive rays. The morning brings me another trial. The night brings me nightmares. Simona nearly slid off the windowsill. Her limbs felt limp, as if they had lost their bones overnight. I need to pull myself together and find CASSIEL. He'd better be kind enough to explain why the amulet reacts to nightmares. The gift on her chest no longer burned. Instead, there was only pleasant coolness. But during the night, it was the amulet that had awakened her with its warmth. I mean, technically, it's also nice. That's also I understand why she's like, what the fuck? Like, this thing actually burns me even in my nightmares. Like, I can't even be away from this in my nightmares. But on the other side, she said it's fucked up that she actually has those nightmares. And if it actually helped her wake up so that she doesn't have to dwell on this fear, then it's a good thing. But on the other side, I'm intrigued. Does this amulet not only react to danger around us, but also to our feelings of danger? As in, if we slowly feel like something negative is coming our way, like the amulet starts flaring up as well, as in to heighten that we should listen to our unwell feelings. Simona headed for the shower. She did her best to ignore the bed. That simple piece of furniture had become a repository of horrors, a place she no longer wanted to be in. That's fucked up. We don't even want to sleep anymore. Y'all, what is this sexy elf? Y'all, they are actually not even trying anymore. I would prefer this. Nah, y'all, with all due respect, this is the only thing that I would even wear in real life. After changing, Simona fixed her hair. Let's see if hair works. That's cute, actually. Honestly, I can work with that. CASSIEL didn't respond to the knock on his bedroom door. Simona decided not to linger in the hallway. She went downstairs to the kitchen and brewed herself a cup of coffee. It's the funny thing that a nightmare woke her up. Imagine it's 3 a.m. and she said, I'm not going back to bed. I'm getting dressed and I'm sitting down, trying to wake myself up here. She decided to indulge in the small pleasure of enjoying the drink outside. What did I say? She's no ma'am. The aroma of the coffee mingled with the cool freshness of the morning garden. Malbonte silently emerged from the shadows to join her. Simona patted him affectionately on the head and waited for the wolf to settle at her feet. Cute. Simona didn't notice how quickly time flew by. Soon the air was saturated with the warmth of the sun rays. It embraced her like a dear friend. She basked in the soothing silence until a long-awaited figure appeared in the distance. You're out here more often than I am now. The nightmares! Good morning. Nah, you see what I did there? You see my change in clothing? You see how cute she looks? Cassiel pushed the empty cup aside and sat down beside her. I wanted to talk to you about the amulet you gave me. What's about to? This morning it heated up while I was sleeping, so much so that it woke me up. Cassiel blinked in confusion. What did you dream about? My father. Is the amulet supposed to react to dreams? No, it's not. Well, then it's a problem. The decision was not an easy one for Cassiel. I'll ask Somnus to take a look at your dreams. No. Sure as hell not, because that's what they want. They want us to feel so much fear that we decide to actually go away. No. Simona, it is necessary. As if there's no other option. Yeah. Maybe he's the one sending them to me. Don't you think it's a strange coincidence, his abilities and my problems? He wouldn't. How would you know? He said that he silently, like subconsciously, tried to threaten us into believing we have a choice. But it wasn't a choice to begin with. Stoop to that? Oh, I'm sure he would stoop to anything. You don't trust Somnus at all. Your relationship with him has worsened. I do not trust him one bit, no. Because they both made it completely clear that we're just a bitch. The fact that the amulet heats up during sleep is very strange, Simona. It would be foolish not to seek the help of someone who can actually do something about it. God forbid that he would actually worsen our dreams. Can he really? Will he enter my dream and kill the monsters? We don't do anything about dreams, Simona. Immortals don't usually dream. But there are seers, and there are those like Somnus. They don't just see dreams, they control them. And only God knows what else they're capable of. You know, that sounds like another reason not to let him near me. Cassiel seemed to have doubts of his own, so he didn't press the matter any further. Alright, he hasn't even agreed yet. Maybe we're arguing for nothing. Simona picked up the empty cup and stood. Cassiel followed suit. Well then, let's go and find out. There's no point in delaying things. But their plans were not meant to be. MIKAEL was approaching them. Happiness. Judging by the look of things, it was urgent. MIKAEL stopped just a few steps away. He spoke impatiently and with authority. Can I hug him? It's been 84 years. We need to fly. No. What happened? There's an unfamiliar presence near the spear. RAPHAEL and David are already flying there. Y'all, I fucking hate this. Why aren't we really seeing them? Simona, you'll have to stay on your own for a while. MIKAEL clearly had no time for questions. She could only guess what spear he was talking about. Alright, I understand. No, I love the outfit I gave her. Like, I want to dress like that now. The tension spread to her as well. I don't recall them ever heading out on an assignment as a whole group, that. But Simona sensibly regained her composure. She didn't hold them back going into the house. She turned around almost immediately, but there was no one behind her anymore. Can they actually conceal their presence as in no one can see them in the sky? Because if not, that would look weird. The silence of the house often gave her a sense of seclusion, but only now that she realized that she was truly alone. Simona began to notice things she hadn't seen before. The house, empty of its inhabitants, seemed to have lost its essence. It had become quiet and lifeless. It felt vast and empty, like a worn-out shell devoid of a soul. I'm sorry. Aren't Furious and Somnus here? A ringing silence descended upon her. Its oppressive atmosphere felt even more intense in a building as large as this. This feels weird. Simona spoke out loud and shuddered at the sound of her own voice. She was surprised by the unease that had suddenly settled within her. She had never been afraid of living alone. Yes, she'd feel lonely, but solitude didn't frighten her. Simona wandered down the hallway. She stopped near the painting depicting the inhabitants of the house. So it really is them. They managed to live as reclusive for so many years without arousing suspicion. Or maybe they erased the memories of any accidental visitors. Wise, weary eyes, rendered in oil, stared back at her. How often did they have guests at all? Her thoughts were interrupted by a muffled knock on the front door. Simona instantly felt like a little girl left alone by her parents. She wanted to hide and not poke her nose out until the strange noise stopped. How silly. Yeah. I would say look silently through the peephole. Then when I walked softly on the carpet, she crept toward the door. If it's someone I don't know, I'll call Fel. Or go to the garden and look for the wolf. But she didn't have to carry out those plans. There was a familiar voice behind the door. When no one answered, the guest began to leave a voice message. Malik!
I don't think I mixed up the date and time, Michael, but apparently something pulled you away from the house.
Someone flung the door open. Malik cut his message off mid-sentence. He hung up and grinned broadly.
When I was your boss, it's so unprofessional to schedule a meeting with me and then disappear.
Michael has some business to attend to. He's not at home.
Did something happen?
Malik's concern had no effect on her. She lied without hesitation. Maybe he really did forget about you. What Astrea needs is a secretary.
And what about your other colleagues?
This man is not easily fooled. He's like, bitch, don't test me. She shrugged and smiled mysteriously, but at least we finally get to see, like, the people that we actually want to see. Like, Malik is also one of those that literally get, like, almost no screen time. Who knows? The house is huge. I don't keep track of them. To avoid telling any more lies, you want to change the subject. Did you find anything interesting?
I found an old abandoned church who wanted to invite Michael on a date.
Ah! A Church of the Beast!
Possibly.
Simona wasn't sure how, but she felt like this might actually help move the search forward. That's great news. Can we go?
We could check out the church ourselves since Michael is busy at the moment.
Me! The smile slowly faded from her face. Meanwhile, Malik seemed to become even more amused.
You could bring one of your colleagues along. If you can find them in this huge house, of course.
This man knows that we're lying our ass off, and he decided to actually use this to his advantage. I fucking can with him. He's like, if you find one, maybe you can actually invite them on this trip. Did he figure out that I was lying? He ain't stupid. He knew immediately because Michael is actually a word of honor, I feel. Like a man of honor. If he says he will be there, then he will be there. Simona decided to stick to her story and not give in. Let's invite Felonia, in case we run into something dangerous there.
I'd be delighted, Simona.
Of course, this man with 2 women.
Go get ready. I'll give her a call.
I am ready. Simona practically dashed upstairs. Malik waited at the doorway. Like an evil creature that can't enter without an invitation. Funny. Simona stifled a nervous laugh. She left a message for Michael. She called Fel to check if her outing with Malik would interrupt anything important. She tried to keep her voice as neutral as possible. It didn't work out well. It felt like Felonia's slender fingers were once again pressing against the nape of her neck. The words lodged in her heart and throbbed with a dull pain. Felonia replied coldly and curtly. Of course she would join them. That was the end of her preparations. Simona took a quick look at herself in the mirror, then went downstairs. The small Gothic building nestled away from prying eyes in the dense forest. The southern part of the city was known for its old chapels. It had embraced the structure as one of its own. My goodness. The only thing that faintly hinted at its true nature were the unusual red stained glass windows. Felonia carefully inspected the inside of the church. Then she began to check the surroundings with a couple of police officers. She took the whole squad! Malik and Simona stayed to examine the interior, a potential site of worship for the beast. Where should I start? Examine the pedestal. The unusual pedestal in the center of the hall looked regal and imposing. It was clearly meant for someone very important. Thin grooves led to it from the altars, intertwining and intricate patterns.
Do you think they put the victims in the center?
I think the altars were for the sacrifices. The pedestal was probably for whoever the sacrifices were made to.
The followers gazed into the circle, waited for their god.
Inspect the altars. Simona approached one of the stages and took a closer look. It appeared that a sacrificial liquid had once flowed from its marble mouth. The brownish stains resembled rust, but they were clearly something else.
I'm certain that blood flowed into these bowls, a lot of blood.
I suppose that suits the beast. Look at the walls and finish the inspection. Simona walked slowly along the wall. She tried to figure out what language the unfamiliar words were written in. I used to know a good cryptographer. We could really use her knowledge.
The lost the methods of worship.
What are they?
Nothing out of the ordinary. Life and death, murder and orgies.
Very ordinary. This actually gives off vibes of Heaven's Secret Requiem, not gonna lie. Even though there's no sign of the beast here, I still really think MIKAEL should take a look at this place. Reputation. Malik, you're quite confident in your conclusions. Yes, I am. Malik ran his hand thoughtfully over the marble skin of a statue as if wiping away invisible tears. The professor's wistful mood stirred other thoughts. You're a collector, right? Are you interested in controversial religions as well? Malik removed his hand from the lifeless face and put it back in his pocket.
Controversial because someone had their throat slit here.
I'd say that's why.
There aren't many religions in the world that don't build on blood and bones, you know. Does that make them controversial? All the bones have been buried long ago. The spilled blood has been absorbed by the earth. Pick any one of them, and you'll always both right and wrong at the same time.
It became impossible for her to hold back a tactless question. Who do you believe in? Malik smiled and leaned forward.
Myself.
The confidence. I want that confidence too.
And just a little bit on people.
He echoed each word with a step. On the last one, Malik stopped close to her. His whisper touched her ear.
Shall we go, or shall we stay here a little longer?
Oh, I always have one answer to a question like that. Let's talk some more. Since we rarely have the opportunity to see your fine ass.
Wonderful.
The satisfaction on the professor's face sent shivers down her spine. Attention, the most expensive choice will only have a romantic tone for those who are pursuing a relationship with Malik. Otherwise, the dialogue will be friendly and you'll discuss the MC's childhood.
So, what do you want to talk about?
Oh my goodness. That looks so cute. That picture looks so cute. There aren't many options. Honestly, we can talk about everything, like talk about his beliefs in himself. The arrogance. We want to talk about the arrogance. Not the grin. So you believe in yourself like others believe in God? Does that make you a supporter of anthropism? Anthropism is the concept of equating humans with the seed and attributing divine qualities to themselves by.
How charming, Simona. No, I really appreciate your attempt to define my views, and I respect this little weakness of yours, the desire to give everything a name. Everything that has a name becomes more understandable, safer, right? But everything that is nameless and faceless terrifies us.
Malik smiled tenderly, almost fatherly. He spread out his hands.
Well, if you want, let it be so. We are all equal in the beginning. Only our actions add levels. Higher or lower. Man creates God in their own image, Simona. That's why we have such a wide selection.
The conversation energized the professor. His eyes lit up with a fanatical gleam. The selection is wide indeed, but only in theory. What about in essence?
In essence, there should be a casting call for the place of God. The most worthy should sit at the top.
Do you think any of us has the right to stand on that pedestal?
Homo homitutus.
What? Latin for man is a god to man. Okay. The phrase was familiar to her. She completed it. Man is a god to man if he knows his duties. Malik responded with a smile and stepped onto the center of the pedestal.
If he can give what is asked of him.
There was a click under his feet and the pedestal sank. All rusty missionary rattled above the heads of the visitors to the church. Dust and grit fell like a gray rain. Simona shielded her eyes with her hands. She squinted and looked up. Red mirrors appeared in the center of the ceiling. Trapped rays of sunlight quivered in the room and converged on one spot, the professor. Oh my god. The red light falling on his face resembled blood and made his figure look ominous.
Do you look like a god?
Like a demon. Simona couldn't tell if he was joking or being serious. Did he want an answer, or was he simply trying to evoke some kind of emotion in her? Or maybe it didn't matter if there was anyone in front of him at all. Maybe he was addressing himself. Simona didn't understand how the mechanism worked, but the shadows cast by the sages were growing. They spread across the walls, rising like giants above her and the man who fancied himself a god. Is that why you help everyone in need? Do you believe that by doing so you become a higher being to them?
That's right, Simona. I give them far more than just hope. And if I truly were a god, people would kneel before me out of their own unbearable desire, not out of fear.
I respect that. Because in my eyes, there's a little of truth to that. Like a lot of people, they believe in the world order that the beast will bring, but on the other side, it's also fear, if you ask me. And this man is like, I don't only give people hope, I actually want to give them something to come back to. So, by helping them, if they truly desire me, if they truly want me around, it will be because they truly want to, not because someone is actually making them fear me.
That's the true essence of a high being, the desire of others to submit to it, gratitude and adoration. I give them what they want here and now, rather than promising them joy later.
Just a few days ago, Simona might have agreed with him, but now? You're so sure that there is no hell or heaven awaiting for us?
Yes, Simona. Afterward there will be nothing, emptiness and decay. We will all return to where we came from, turn to dust, rise from the ashes.
Only to return to dust again? Michael couldn't suppress a delighted smile. Simona didn't know what strings of a soul she had touched, but Malik's voice actually sounded like a song.
Everything has an end, my dear Simona. So live now and serve only yourself, or serve the one who can give you everything you desire.
Simona fell silent. She was completely confused by his worldview. It was hard to believe in Malik's humanism, but he wasn't a narcissist either. There seemed to be something else driving him. Or maybe I don't understand him at all. Malik stepped down from the pedestal and the red glow disappeared. Malik has shared his deepest thoughts with you. Talk about orgies and sacrifices. It was a curious topic, even if it was a slippery one. It certainly fueled people's imaginations for a reason. How do you know what exactly is written on the walls? What language is this?
Look around, Simona. It's not hard to guess what went on here.
I wouldn't have figured it out without your hint.
Really? Then I'll tell you more. It's obvious that they didn't slit throats in this room. The executioner did it quietly, without unnecessary noise, because they needed a lot of blood. That's not easy to fill such a deep bowl, and there is no space for bodies here.
Simona grimaced. Malik smiled.
This was a place of debauchery. I say debauchery because I doubt that the process had any other goal other than the satisfaction of lust.
Are you judging them?
Of course not, Simona. This is perhaps the most pleasant sin.
Bye!
I'm certainly not sinless myself, so how can I judge the lustful?
Me. And I respect this man's attitude. He's like, I am not sinless, so who am I to actually judge someone if they are filled with sin?
Within these walls they moaned and writhed. They unleashed animal passions and gave in to every desire. Imagine your dirtiest fantasy, Simona.
That's what I'm doing every single time. Don't encourage me.
Here they don't put on your knees to whip your lowest thoughts out of you. Here they put on your knees to bring your fantasies to life.
Malik loosened his tie with deliberate slowness. Simona imagined kneeling before him, slowly opening his belt, making a zipper slowly move down. Then we slowly grip his pants. We move them lower until his most intimate part is explored. Then we slowly move in closer. We look him in the eyes. Meanwhile, we can see that he's enjoying himself. Meanwhile, we're actually dying because we can actually deal with this man's 15-meter dick. Like, I can. She imagined his tie tightening around her neck, his commanding hands pulling her toward him, pulling so hard that she had to find her balance against him. So we're at trouser level. Bye! Not them actually doing it. Her fingers felt the cold. This is funny. Of the buckle. Such a vivid, lively fantasy. Simona heard the faint click of his belt. It promised bliss to at least one of them. A wave of feet swept through her body. Y'all, not them actually saying what I actually just said out loud. Damn. For a moment, she thought she had given herself away with a random breath, glance, or movement. Her dirty secret thoughts escaped and managed to reach the one they were addressed to. Damn, provocative. He knows what I think about this. The desire to repay him in kind became overwhelming, to make him blush and feel awkward instead. Simona glanced meaningfully at his tie. She smiled innocently. Did your own stories make you feel hot?
It was the opportunities unfolding before me. Innocent and unspoiled, yet so eager to correct that misconception.
Is he talking about me? Simona licked her lips nervously and said, a little more and I'll decide that you're trying to seduce me, Malik.
You know, that's exactly what I'm doing. I know it. Shall we try being honest for a change?
What a sneak. Do you want to pin me down that badly? That sentence was deliberately ambiguous. Malik understood it.
Don't tease me, Simona.
Oh, by all means, tease him. Let the animal passion take over.
I don't like to hold back, and I don't know how.
Period. That's me.
If there's something you want, tell me directly.
Son, you actually do not want to carry out every single of my desires, because trust me, I have a lot of desires that I can actually put on display. I will not hold back. Give it to you, this man. No wonder that a lot of people actually have the hots for Malik. I understand, people. I get it. This man actually gives off the vibes of Malbonte in this scene, because this man knows the power that he has over us, and he is not afraid to actually give it to us. That's the exact same thing that Malbonte did.
I'll give it to you.
Simona burned with indignation. She parted her lips. How presumptuous. Nah, you're right. Right now.
And right here.
In love. Jump him.
If you want something, take it, Simona.
Period. He is not afraid. How convenient. So we don't care about your desires then. Simona was sure Malik wouldn't play along, wouldn't go any further. Oh no, he will. But with a predatory tilt of his head, he whispered, I'm in love with this man. Nah, Malik, he needs to stop. Like, I'm already tempted with 3 men. I can't throw 4 in the mix.
Only fool wouldn't want you.
Tell that to Furious and to Somnus. Now, I'm not saying I want them, I'm just saying.
And I don't consider myself a fool.
Now, honestly, he can whip me. I'll allow him to step on me. Simona believed that just one word could take their strange relationship to another level. Sex without commitment? Oh, hell no. We do not do this like friends with benefits. The heck? Don't rush,
Simona. Figure yourself out. But next time, don't start this conversation if you plan to back out.
Dad, Malik didn't wait for an answer. He ended the subject himself. Malik will return to this topic. Malik is happy that you're starting to get closer to him. My goodness. Why are you helping us? Bye. Not the side profile. Why do you spend your time on us?
Because I want to, Simona. All of you fascinates me immensely. You and your colleagues.
Malik emphasized the last word, which made her uncomfortable. It's my fault that he's so interested in them. Simona hadn't brought up the subject of angels again after the hypnosis session, but she was well aware that Malik remembered everything. Did he believe that Raphael is an angel? She didn't want to clarify. I've already told him so many unnecessary things. It's better if he thinks I'm delusional. The prolonged silence was broken by an unexpected confession from Malik.
I grew up in a monastery. The only entertainment I had was the stories my mother told me.
What were those stories about?
About people so different and yet so similar. You could say she gave me this fascination with the fates of others. And I'm willing to fight for every soul, Simona.
I love that.
I'm ready to give everyone a chance.
That's why he's so honorable. I love him. With a sly smile, Malik whispered,
But only one.
Period. He does not give second chances, bitches. You play him, you did.
No mercy isn't limitless either.
I wish I had his ego. Me! Malik enjoys gradually opening up to you. Of course he does. There was nothing else to talk about. Malik sensed this. He gave her a meaningful look in the direction of the door.
The police must be waiting for us by now.
Valoni had indeed finished inspecting the area, and she entered the church herself. On her way to them, she answered the obvious question before they could voice it.
We found a cellar full of human remains. You better return to Astrea.
Valonia's words suddenly breathed life into their surroundings and made the atmosphere threatening. All speculations became deafening reality. Oh my god. Simona imagined candles lighting up around her, a thick blood poured from the sage's mouth. She heard faint cries and pleas. The sharp smells made her dizzy. A cool hand touched her wrist and brought her back to reality.
Simona, come on. I'll take you home. I'm driving, Valonia. I still need to meet with MIKAEL.
Valonia unclenched her fingers reluctantly and nodded.
Fine.
Some time later, Simona waited for her colleagues to return as she processed yet another shock. She tried to imagine what the cellar full of remains would mean for the agency, how Furious and Somnus would react to it, if it could have been prevented. Who should I report this first? I could care less about Somnus or Furious. MIKAEL. He hired me. He's my boss. This is arguably the right decision. Oh, it's very much the right decision. If we have to tell Somnus and Furious afterwards, that's fine, but my loyalty belongs to MIKAEL.
Simona, you're gripping that cup so hard it's going to crack.
The voice pulled her out of one train of thoughts and immediately led her to another. How did you even find this church?
I have many friends, the kind that dwell at very bottom. They navigate the dark perfectly. They know of secret places you couldn't even dream of.
And you stand above them like a king. MIKAEL won't be satisfied with that explanation.
I'll explain it to him differently.
Why to him differently, not to me? The cup in her hand suddenly began to tremble slightly. What? The end of her sentences was drowned out by the sound of the front door slamming into the wall. Damn! Simona jumped to her feet. Malik got up hurriedly after her. Oh.
Does Michael always make such a dramatic entrance?
I would say David. Simona ignored the professor's question and stepped into the hallway. Beep, 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 beep. Malik stood just behind her. He looked at the Astreans who had burst into the house without hiding his curiosity. Their gazes were drawn to Michael, or rather to the object he held in his hands. A spear? David and CASSIEL emerged from behind their leader. They glared at Malik with undisguised hostility. What? He behind me. Oh, maybe. Because they are jealous, maybe, perhaps. Because they were here with us. He was here with us alone. They froze on either side of Michael, like dogs waiting for a command. Oh God, it was unsettling. Oh my goodness.
Malik, I don't have time to talk today. You're going to have to leave.
Malik didn't seem to notice the threat. Either that or he was expertly playing a role of saintly innocence. He stepped forward with a radiant smile.
Of course, I wouldn't dare take up your time. Besides, I'm sure Valonia will tell you everything and more. We can discuss the price later.
Before leaving, Malik turned to the evaluator.
I'll be eagerly waiting on next meeting, Simon.
Provoking every single one in the house. As soon as the guest left Astrea, the team followed Michael into his office. When his pace brought him next to the evaluator, David placed his hand on her waist and pulled her close. What? What did I say? The jealousy. But how come just with David? What is with the others?
I don't like that show of Malik hanging around you.
It's the eyebrow for me.
I'll get you some myself. How's that fair?
David, with all the respect, sweetheart, like I love you, but I see you most of all. If Malik would if Malik would have said that, if Michael would have said that, if Raphael would have said that, then I would have been like, okay, I agree, like my finest bitches. But you, I see you so often. Simona slipped from his grasp and narrowed her eyes playfully. You're the one who keeps disappearing, David. You used to be much bolder. You used to barge into my room without asking, and now you hide from me in the corners. As he led her past, David brushed his lips against her ear and whispered,
I heard you, little witch.
You're welcome. Michael leaned the spear against the table. He turned to CASSIEL.
Until we find a secure location, we'll have to patrol the grounds. No one must be able to enter the house. And I'm asking you too, Simona. No more guests.
Hey! You had an appointment with Malik. Do they think we invited him over? Michael didn't wait for a response. She understood that this wasn't a request. It was an order.
David, check our backup locations and find out what the situations are there. Keep the sphere here not safe. The sooner we move it, the better.
There was no need for him to repeat himself. Simona's colleagues nodded and left the office. Where's Raphael? Me! Where is my bitch? She was now alone with the boss and immediately bombarded him with questions. What happened? Where is Raphael?
It's fine. He just needs to recover after a difficult encounter.
He says with that grim expression. Where is my bitch? What kind of encounter? Malik didn't hide his fatigue. He closed his eyes and rubbed the bridge of his nose. How is that possible? What kind of bitches are now thinking about stealing spears? Michael, you promised. I could care less about the encounter. I want to know where Raphael is. If he needs to recover, I could give a damn about this. Like, fine, he needs to recover, that's fine. Where is he now? Like, is he on the moon? Like, I don't think it's that difficult to answer. Like, we know about their heavenly and devilish nature. Just say, I don't know, he's in heaven, he's in hell. At least that's an answer. Not he needs to recover. That wasn't my question. Michael was caught by his own words. He relented.
Alright, Simona, I can show you what happened, or I can tell you briefly.
Show? How? Of course I'm gonna show.
Very well. Come close and look into my eyes.
Simona recalled what Felonia had said. Can you really read memories in their eyes?
Come on, Simona, this man is so not fucking having it.
Son, relax. His icy voice quickly erased any doubt from her mind. Like, this man really is like a block of ice. Like, he hot, of course, and we know what he truly feels on the inside, but if he would be coming at me like this, I would feel some type of way about this. Simona got up lightly and quickly. Soon she was standing next to the boss. MIKAEL sat on the edge of the table to make it easier for her. He took her hand and pulled her closer. Simona didn't even have time to think about what she was supposed to see. The office suddenly disappeared. His gray eyes pulled her into a vortex. A moment later, she found herself in a completely different place. Not the man being hanged. Several hours ago. Old ungathered leaves crunched beneath MIKAEL's feet, breaking the silence of the mournful place. The acolytes who used to greet the immortals with bowed heads did not come out to bow this time. They were hanging from the trees.
How curious. Did they do it themselves, or?
MIKAEL gave them a look that spoke a single message.
The leader isn't here.
The church doors burst open and a man stepped out.
He seems to have changed a bit since we last saw him.
The man was cursing and trembling all over as he hurried toward them. Oh my goodness. What the heck is all of this? Not the thing. Oh my god. Why would they have this thing on their chest?
You deceived us. All of us. You gave us hope, made us believe we had the chance.
No one told you to actually scratch your eyes out, mister. MIKAEL looked at the approaching man with undisguised disgust. He had carved a sign into his body and had begun to etch it into his face. It began to scrape off along with his skin.
Where is the spear?
The man's eyes widened and he shouted louder.
We're all doomed. Rivers of fire await us. We will all die so that you creatures can rule. Them heavenly rats, he showed us the true God.
Ah, Raphael. Y'all. It's been such a long time. It's been 84 years.
The spear is still here. I can feel it.
MIKAEL slowly approached the acolyte. He held out his hand as if to calm the man. The man was surprised and he actually fell silent. Hope flickered across his face, but MIKAEL didn't calm him with an embrace. He broke the acolyte's neck in one quick motion. Damn! He didn't even glance at the fallen body as he called over his shoulder to Raphael. Now, ladies and gentlemen, MIKAEL is capable of doing the exact same thing that David is capable of.
Take the spear.
But what is the spear for anyways? And why were they blaming them and saying, yeah, you actually gave us hope? Hope for what? The wind from Raphael's wings flung sand and dry leaves into the traitor's frozen face. David watched Raphael fly and remarked thoughtfully,
Did a failed thief come here just to look at the vault? He wouldn't have been able to take it so easily.
It seems more like a trap.
Whether it is or not, the spear must be moved. Burn the bodies.
Just to be clear, MIKAEL added, there's no need to take them down from the trees.
You can burn them along with the trees.
Damn! Damn! He said that without mercy. Without mercy. The ground beneath their feet stirred as if in protest against the desecration. Oh my god! not shadow creatures actually crawling from the depths of hell. The dead rose to defend the newcomers, reaching out their hands in a twisted offer to help. Blackened fingers clamped around the ankles of the Astreans, pulling them down into the churning earth. What are we even watching?
What is this?
The demon's eyes flared with a malevolent red glow as the team prepared for battle. Heads emerged from the ground after their hands. They screamed, laughed, writhed in agony. They sank their crumbling teeth into the flesh of the unwelcome guests. They crawled up their legs, trying to reach and tear out their throats. CASSIEL drew his sword and slashed wildly, but the severed limb instantly detached itself to the dead body. David tore at the corpses with his bare hands, but still couldn't escape the grasp. It was as if the dead had burst out of a disturbed anthill. They climbed and climbed upward, dragging the men down. Their wings didn't help. The creatures crawled at them as well and began to tear off their feathers. Oh my god, the wings! He actually has devil wings, y'all.
What do we do?
MIKAEL didn't answer. For the first time in his many years spent on Earth, he didn't know.
What power can raise an animate dead?
Anger boiled inside him. Once again, he felt betrayed. Sifa had sent them here without a single hint about what they would be facing. Sifa! So this technically is like a... Can I call this a spin-off, sort of? This is like a spin-off to Heaven's Secret, because Sifa was supposed to be like God, and Sifa Malum was supposed to be the devil. In the Heaven's Secret universe. Does this play in the Heaven's Secret universe? He had robbed them of any advantage, of any chance to prepare, and now they were drowning in grave dirt. Their enemy was overwhelming, both in number and in their uncanny ability to regenerate.
I'll call for help.
The suggestion snapped MIKAEL back to his senses and cooled his mind.
No, don't you dare, David.
Well, bitch, what you wanna do? You wanna drown? Don't you see all these bitch-ass souls?
It would be as if we died instead, so you dare.
What?
CASSIEL.
CASSIEL's eyes filled with rage. His body was encased in black armor. The ground beneath him split open to reveal a red fury chasm. The dark, dense shadows nearby fell into the abyss and melted in the inferno. They were replaced by hounds that rose from the very depths of hell. Their huge paws clawed at the sand walls. Ooh, hellhounds, let's go! The command was soft and calm, but the wolves heard it.
Eat.
Oh, he said eat them all. Oh, let's go. As obedient as tame dogs, they tore the enemies to pieces and gnawed their master free. Chunks of flesh flew in all directions. The animals swallowed the juiciest parts.
Help the others.
Having escaped, CASSIEL flew to the roof to the church to catch his breath. The hellhounds felt his gaze and responded attentively to his every word. A few minutes later, David and MIKAEL landed beside him. Shadows crawled after them. Oh my god! Like, they are petty! They're fucking petty! They don't get you. This like reminds me of the feeling I felt when we saw more, and I actually thought that this man had survived, and even though he's blind and everything, he was burned down. He managed to escape only just to come into a room and murder us. Like, even when they are completely taken down, like, hellhounds actually coming their way, actually killing them, you cannot be rid of them. They're like cockroaches. They are, like, always there. They cannot give up. They cannot accept defeat. They will not stop. They clung to the walls and climbed over each other, reaching upward. The dogs dragged them down to the ground. They tore the shadows apart with teeth and claws, but as soon as one creature was torn apart, another would take its place.
Did the old dad ever mention that our beast could pull off tricks like that? Since when do the dead party on Earth instead of licking demons' boots in hell?
David.
They're not entirely from hell. They're from the pit.
Pit? David fell silent in confusion.
I can hold them off forever.
Raphael appeared silently and calmly behind them. Look at this! They are petty as fuck!
I'll handle it, CASSIEL.
He handed the spear to MIKAEL and looked pitifully at the approaching shadows.
So the beast controls souls, both and false beings. There is no peace for them anywhere.
Raphael's pupils disappeared behind a white glow. It enveloped the angel, expanding and pulsating. Simone already knew what would happen next. A bright flash blinded her for just a moment. It brought her back to MIKAEL's office. My goodness gracious, the heck?
Can I ask questions? Of course.
If only it was always this easy. Ask about Raphael! What is wrong with my bitch? Is Raphael alright?
Yes, he just needs some time to recover.
Ask about the souls. What are these souls?
I'm not really familiar with the place they likely come from. We can only speculate, but clearly the beast has power over certain people both in life and after death.
Ask about the spear. What is the spear?
The spear of Longinus. It has the power to ignite the apocalypse on Earth.
Of course. Simona suddenly wished MIKAEL would be a little less open with her. You're not joking, are you?
I'm being serious. It's an incredibly powerful artifact.
Then no thank you.
But don't worry, no one will be able to break into the house and take it from us.
MIKAEL's words were a little comfort. Who would even want to destroy the entire world? The beast? And how can someone's spears bring about the end of the world? Unless it's used to slay God.
Simona, there's nothing to worry about. We won't let an apocalypse happen. Everything will be fine. Do you hear me?
Her legs simply couldn't hold up under such a heavy burden anymore. Does the beast crave the end of the world?
It creates a new world, but creating a new world means the death of the old.
Wonderful. MIKAEL glanced cautiously at the evaluator. He smiled at her composure.
You're handling this remarkably well.
In Astrea, I think about death so much that maybe it's not so scary anymore. And if what you say is true, then I really did die for a moment. That night when Raphael saved me. Why not call this the end of the world? After a little more silence, MIKAEL stood up. He asked her a completely unexpected question.
What was Malik doing here?
Now the jealousy coming through. Now I'm weak. There was a hint of reproach in his voice. Reproach. This man is not actually reproaching us. He's like, bitch, what the fuck was this bitch doing here with you alone? The second that I'm out of your side, you decided to drag another man into my home. Simona tensed. He came to see you.
I know that, but...
The jealousy. No, honestly, that's the jealousy that I would love. Honestly, seeing the jealousy from MIKAEL and Malik would be the biggest thing ever. Because Malik is like enjoying and living through his desire. But this man never actually has been jealous. Like, we were never capable to actually make him lose control. He did say that he would love to, like, be not intimate with us, but he would love to be closer to us. And he said that we're not ugly looking, / that he wouldn't mind actually tasting us. But never jealousy. We never saw the jealousy part. I need to see it. We saw the jealousy part with David in the hallway. Now we're seeing it with MIKAEL. MIKAEL stopped. He tried to soften his tone, but it didn't really work. Nah, he can't control himself anymore. It's funny.
This is undoubtedly your home as well, Simona. But when we aren't here...
Right, when we aren't here, right. No, guests, I understand. She didn't care that she wasn't allowed to bring other people into the house. She wasn't upset that MIKAEL scolded her, even though Malik had been inside Astrea walls before. But it stung to hear the icy tone with which he spoke to her when they were alone. I mean, the icy tone comes out of a place of jealousy. He's not actually mad. He's jealous because he feels that he's losing you. It's not fair. Make him jealous. Jealousy can't run from the pain. Sorry. Next time we'll meet at his place. It's no problem. No, y'all. I'm so digging this. Delve into the jealousy phase of MIKAEL, ladies and gentlemen. See the rage. See the rage. You say he shouldn't be here when we're all alone. Why? Why? Because he's like, I'm pretty sure I saw the way that this man looked at you, and let's be honest, this man added sauce before he left. And that leaves a lot to be desired. So, this man, when he's not there, when no one is there, and there's just a man and a woman, like, in his eyes, that's the perfect opportunity that they can get intimate, then they can have sex. Like, no one can stop them. And he don't wanna. He wants to claim ownership. So let's actually add sauce to it. His vertebrae became her trophy. It's the irritation for me. So when I marked this tiny victory with a charming smile. Me, may I go now? He's like, no, you can't. Why not? What you want? No. This time his cold voice thrilled her. A single word so small yet so saturated with the feelings that escaped. Intoxicating, blinding, furious desire. He hates this. Then when I recalled some of his words, they really are extremely greedy creatures. You don't want to share? Then tell me about it, period. Like, let me see. Simona held her breath and waited to see what would happen next. She hoped that this time her thoughts would be loud enough for him to read in her burning eyes.
Do you see Malik often? He did not actually just ask that.
That's what he's interested in. Don't you trust him?
I thought it was your own decision to cooperate with him. It's not a matter of trust.
It really is a matter of trust, though. This has nothing to do with him not trusting him, actually helping with the case and everything. This has to do more like with the trust that he don't trust him when he's around you. Then I don't see the problem. Simona suddenly realized that if this conversation continued, she would have to bare her soul to confess her budding feelings for someone else, feelings she hadn't quite figured out yet herself. To use them to provoke MIKAEL, it made her feel disgusted with herself. She felt like leaving right away. Good night, MIKAEL. She didn't wait for an answer as she turned away, but then she was immediately turned back. Huh? MIKAEL held her wrist and pulled her toward him. He took a step forward. What is going on? Her heaving chest was almost touching his. Only a few inches unspoken. Feelings separated them. What is going on? So what will you do next, huh? Claim property or leave it? MIKAEL still held her arm, which was bent at the elbow. He burned her with his gaze. A crystal clear blue fire swirled within. And that fire, the remaining inches burned away. MIKAEL was so close that she could easily touch his lips. She knew exactly who was standing in front of her, but her feelings wouldn't let her think about that right now. Not when his lips were so close to hers.
Are you bored?
No. With you? MIKAEL pulled away.
At the agency.
No, I'm frustrated because you were never there. Simona took a step back, freeing her arm. The spell was broken, but it hadn't disappeared. It lingered in the air. It was hard to breathe. There still wasn't enough oxygen. The blue fire of his eyes had burned it away. If you're about to give me more work so I won't get bored, then no. MIKAEL smiled.
So you're bored with me?
No. Simona felt like she had missed something important, something genuine in the life. She is stupid at times. I don't get it. Like, she's actually a psychologist. She should be capable to read between the lines. Like she hadn't fully grasped it in time. She felt deceived. You showed your true face. I saw it. I don't recall us spending time together outside of work.
Would you like that?
No! By all means. Simona couldn't believe her ears. It seemed like some kind of test. That depends on what you have to offer. Don't give him any ideas, girl. MIKAEL had so much that he could offer her, far more than she could have ever imagined. But he didn't speak any pompous, lofty phrases. Instead, he smiled disarmingly.
I'll think about how I can brighten up your free time.
Incredible. Malik even helped me here. Michael will suddenly offer you something he won't share you with Malik. Bye! He said he's not trusting it. He said he's not open for BS.
If you have no more questions.
Simona remembered Felonia and the promise she had made to her. Michael, I have a request for you. She didn't have a speech prepared, so she had to improvise on the fly. I know how you feel about Felonia. I understand that a lot of it is justified, but please try to help her. She just wants to know that her family's alright, nothing more. Is that really so much to ask? Michael took no pleasure in this conversation, but he can't actually shoo us away because we're the ones actually talking about this.
Simona.
Just think about it, please. For my sake. We're using us as leverage. Please, wink, wink. Michael nodded without answering verbally, but that was enough. He can't say no to us, and that's a very bad thing for him, personally. Fearing that he might change his mind, Simona thanked him and quickly said goodbye. I would have actually hugged this bitch because it's been 84 years since we've seen him. Her feet carried her to the familiar bedroom door almost by themselves. Simona couldn't just take Michael's words for it. She had to see for herself. I need to make sure he's alright. Thank you. Thank you. Raphael, baby. Are you alright? Are you in there? Raphael, it's me. A quiet voice full of tenderness made her chest tighten. Raphael.
Come in, Simona.
Oh, my heart. Raphael was lying on the bed with his hand under his head. It was such a simple human gesture, and Simona decided that she had every right to be openly worried about him. Thank you. She put aside the thought that he was an immortal and went to him. He needed support and warmth. It didn't matter if he had wings on his back or not. How are you? We're so shattered. Simona quickly scanned his body. It seemed so fragile, but his outer shell was so deceptive.
I'm alright. I just need a little rest.
He just seemed tired and sleepy. Simona exhaled. I wouldn't have to disturb you, but I need to. I'll go. I won't bother you. I don't think we're bothering him. I just think that he feels a little weird around us.
Stay with me, Simona.
He really seems to want me to. Of course we're gonna stay. Simona sat down on the edge of the bed. She admired Raphael's angelic features. Aww. He really is angelic. I want to touch him so badly, this woman. She's allowing demons and angels to warp her mind, goddamn. No, honestly, with all due respect, as much as I'm in love with this man, I feel like I need this man on my side no matter what. As in family kind of way. Because I did say, even in the beginning of the first season, where I was like, I cannot play with this man. And of course, we kissed and everything. But since he has barely been around, I feel like we couldn't have hurt this man too much by actually deciding to go for another man. And he deserves so much more. I feel like this man is actually capable to heal me with this man's pure and soft voice. And just he gives me the feelings just like CASSIEL. You see? Just that Raphael over here gives off the vibes of this little brother, sort of. Like you're the older sister. He grows so fond of you that he will never ever accept any slander. Because you were his protector in his darkest moments, so he decided as he grew up that he needs to do the exact same thing for you. So the love he has for you is unconditional. And I did explain how I feel about CASSIEL. So it's narrowed to David and Michael, actually. And I'm slowly starting to feel that it's going between Malik and MIKAEL, because honestly, these two are killing me. Like, they really are. I feel like this, though, has nothing to do with, like, being a simp. Like, my friend said, like, you know who you are. But I feel like this man, even though we know that his feelings for us are sincere, I would like, especially in general, a lot of people, the second that they get into a relationship, they like want to see the sincerity. David actually just gives off the feeling that actually having us, being around us, is like, I don't want to say a game to him, but he's taking things lightly when it comes to us. Like, not actually taking things seriously. Like, this man is being actually humbled by his masters. He's being beaten, and he don't care, which on one side it's actually commendable, but on the other side he keeps on trying to calm us down, not actually seeing that what's happening to him is actually not okay. And especially when it comes to romantic love, you just want someone to take things seriously. And both MIKAEL and Malik actually give off those vibes where they're like, you are mine, as in potentially, you could be mine. But first off, it's your chance, as in your decision. And second, I'm not kidding, as in I'm not playing around. If you decide to want to be with me, then you are all I see, sort of, if you get what I mean. Like, they actually take the question about being in a real relationship with us seriously. They don't grin about it. They don't joke around. They don't take it lightly. They're actually taking things seriously. And I appreciate that in a relationship. Sometimes you need to know when to draw the balance between, like, actually faking, like, actually joking around, and when to actually be honest about your feelings. Oh my god. Touch his face, touch his hand. Touch his face. Oh gosh. That's so cute. Raphael awakened in her a desire to give him tenderness, sensual, languid, gentle. She longed to touch his skin, to explore him, slowly, carefully. Simona was sure that his body was as beautiful as his face. He is, and please, with these romantic options, do not tempt me too much. It seems like everything about him is perfect. Every feature, every strand of hair, every mole. Her curiosity burned fiercely, unbearably. But the pale light of the moon beat her to it and caressed Raphael's face. Simona pushed it away jealously and covered his face with her hand. She hid his skin from another touch. She could barely resist the urge to press her lips against him. She whispered, I won't give you to the beast. I won't give you to anyone. Not her being... Oh, y'all. Not her being possessive. She's like, I'm not giving you to the beast. Forget it. She felt his smile against her hand. Simona knew that everything she was saying was foolish. What could she, a mere human, possibly do in a battle with such powerful beings? In my eyes, in moments like these, it doesn't necessarily have to do with whether or not we can actually do something, and more has to do with the fact that we can't control our emotions with that person, and that's why we're willing to say everything that we truly feel on the inside, even if it doesn't necessarily mean that we can actually act upon it. But when she looked into his dreamy, grateful eyes, Simona truly believed in her words. She believed that her feelings would be enough to make the whole world surrender and submit. She wanted so much for Raphael to give her hope that he believed it too. That we have a future. But he remained silent, so she spoke again. When you regain your strength, we'll go somewhere. We'll take the first bus that arrives and get off at any stop that catches our eye.
I can pick you up and carry you anywhere, Simona.
Yeah, we do not need to go into a bus like he can fly.
Why would we need a bus?
Period. Simona explained. To sit cheek to cheek and gaze out the window. Turn to twine our fingers and hold each other close for the entire ride. Stop. Not her immediately making up games like beautiful adventures to actually help like these two become more intimate. Then to get off the bus without remembering its number. So we'd have the illusion that we don't know how to get back. Goodbye. Raphael understood it all. He brushed his lips against her hand.
I'm grateful to you, Simona. Because with you, I can be who I want to be.
No, Raphael.
Not who I must be. Not who my father made me to be.
With me, you can be yourself. But that should be like a obvious thing. Like you should actually have the capability to be who you want to be around the people that you care about. Like, if people truly love you, they should appreciate you for who you are and about the energy you give out to the world. If they can't, then they are not the right people. Like, honestly, I've had so many haters, honestly, and my YouTube channel is not that big. But they all keep on bringing the exact same reason, and they actually made me realize something different. I got to where I am because of who I am. I don't need to change my personality in order to fit your view of what you believe a good YouTuber is. If you don't think that I am good at what I'm doing, you will leave no matter what I say or do. Because there will be always something that gets on your nerves what I do. I don't know. Maybe a word that I keep on remembering. Maybe in your eyes I talk too much. I explain too much. There will always be something. Besides, I would be pretending. I wouldn't be authentic anymore in what I say and what I do. I started this channel because I wanted to. This was my decision. And I got to where I am because of who I am. I don't see the need to actually change who I am just in order to meet your liking. The people that remained because of who I am. I didn't need to change. Like, it was your choice to come to my channel to watch a video or a reaction, whichever way you want to look at it. And it was also your decision to leave again. And on the other side, there were people that came to my channel and there were people that remained. That was also your choice. Like, I can't change the fact that you may not agree with what I say or do. But that's not my problem, that's yours. If you feel that what I'm doing is not good enough for you, if it's not perfection in the way that you want it to, you can leave. Like, I said that multiple times, and sometimes it hurts, that people come to your account and then actually insult you later on. But this is something that I will just, or in general, like every YouTuber, that's like something that they will have to agree to like get used to. Like, we can't make it perfect. I can do what I do out of love and try to give it my all. But that's about it. Like, I can't change anything if you don't enjoy it.
It's exactly with you that I can't.
Why not? I don't get why he says that he can't be himself when he's around us. Or maybe is he referring to his feelings? His feelings are contradictory to everything that he stands for. Like, his feelings for us make him lose control. Like, we did hear this in the episodes where we kissed Raphael. Raphael held his deepest problem and most tender happiness in that sentence. She didn't ask what he meant, and Raphael didn't explain, so she wouldn't feel guilty or obligated. It's sad that she, as her psychologist, does not read between the lines. He drowned his purpose in her eyes, and if he could, he would have gladly drowned in them himself. Simona stroked his skin, enjoying the silence that united them. She was afraid to think about death, his, hers, or the world's. In this intimate silence, in the darkness of the night, a single desire grew in her, to be together. Simona felt that it was mutual. What if I had come to him when he was at full strength? What would have happened if I had come last night? Simona hoped that Raphael would recover soon and that she wouldn't regret the time she had wasted. And then I'll definitely come to you again. Touch his hand. I think it's so cute. Stop, not us actually touching his hand. Simona touched Raphael's hand in an attempt to comfort him. She covered his elegant, slender fingers. Do you need anything?
I could bring you some tea.
I could bring you some tea. Sorry, that was us though. Raphael shook his head.
When you're here, I don't need anything else.
Stop, not that charmer. Imagine I'm not here.
When you're not here, there's only one thing I crave.
Your presence. Simona pretended not to understand. She raised her eyebrow. Well, are we seeing that I'm disguised Raphael and Malik? Both. She was flustered by the confession. She tried to calm her racing heart. Maybe you do need something to eat or drink?
You know, it's not like we really need it. I can eat very little. An absence of food won't kill me. It'll just weaken me.
This trait seemed simple to him, but it reminded her who was in front of her. A dying angel. Simona feared that the feelings she stirred in him were merely longing for a life that was slipping away. For an immortal, losing a life must be unbearable. He could have had an eternity ahead of him, but he must die for those whom heaven regards as insects. But Simona had no doubts about her own feelings. The angel inspired awe in her, a reverence that was hard to overcome. She squeezed his hand tighter. Then you need to eat and regain your strength. I'll cook you anything you want, really. I can cook. That's so cute. Like, why are they so wholesome? This actually gives off like the same moments that we had in episode 1 of season 2 with CASSIEL, where we were just like sitting down in our old apartment, like sipping tea and having like this beautiful moment. Every surge of tenderness her words provoked in him was followed by a pang of melancholy. He wanted to give her more than just the salvation of the world. He was ready to offer her all of the feelings that had been building up inside of him for centuries. But the thought that she would have to live with those feelings without him tightening his throat and forced him to remain silent. No, honey. He knew all too well what it was like to keep them inside and not let them out.
Who won't help me? Not in this case. Only time will.
If I could, I would share it with you. Something inside Raphael snapped. He thought that if she was a test sent by his father, then he would fail it. Not him also saying he'll fail it. If he had even the slightest chance to refuse his destiny, he would take it. He allowed himself a sinful thought, one for which his father would have him skinned. He thought she was far more precious to him than the world he had barely seen.
Maybe you're the angel, not me.
Now that's a lie. Don't be coming with that charming thing. I would consider myself a demon with all those dirty thoughts I'm throwing in here. Simona smiled. She had no idea how much contradictory emotion she evoked inside the unfortunate man. Poor him. Ask how he is. How are we doing, sis? Why does using your power make you feel ill? How does it work? Perhaps responded reluctantly.
I have a special power within me, Simona. It poisons me and is meant for someone else.
Huh? The beast?
For the beast, for all that he sows. Today we encountered his influence. I was able to use this poison. Now I suffer the consequences myself.
I don't understand. Does he carry power inside of himself for the beast? And that's why he's actually capable to know who is supposed to be sacrificed first? And in other words, his destiny is to actually give his powers or the power he carries with him to the beast. And he refuses because he knows what the beast will do with it. And that's why he's contradicting his father's will. And that's why he's suffering, because the power does not actually belong to him. So it's like actually another, a strange body or foreign, let me say it differently. A foreign organ being placed in your body, and your body is rejecting that organ because it's not yours. And you need to take medicine hoping that your body will adapt to that foreign organ in your body. A question lingered on Simona's lips, but she didn't dare to say it out loud.
To unleash all my power and kill the beast, I will have to die as well.
What? Simona shook her head stubbornly. The fuck? Why? No! There must be another way. Why didn't your omnipotence godfather give you another option? Why was the poison placed in you? Why you specifically? Raphael tried not to ask himself these questions. He was afraid to learn the answers.
I don't know, Simona, and perhaps it's better that I don't.
Oh, hell no. So he technically has to die. Because those powers were placed inside of him for the beast, but he refuses to give the powers to the beast. So these powers, it's like they're slowly poisoning him from the inside out. This actually gives off vibes of Voldemort and Harry. Harry is one of the Horcruxes, and he needs to die in order to be capable to get rid of Voldemort too. The pain in Raphael's voice as he spoke those last words made her fall silent. I shouldn't have brought it up again. I think it's the cutest thing ever, though, that he's actually telling us about it. I would have kissed him on the forehead, or gave him a hug. Fatigue crept up on the evaluator unnoticed. She covered her mouth with her hand and yawned.
I'm so selfish, Simona. I'm so happy to be in your company that I didn't even notice that you're tired.
Shut the fuck up and stop being so kind. Like the hell. Not this man actually trying to apologize for taking upon our time, seeing that we are tired. The hell, shut it. No. Shut up. I hate when he says it. It's actually making me feel so much hate. Okay? Like so much frustration. He deserves the world.
Please go rest.
He asked her so gently that Simona gave in. Good night, Raphael.
Sweet dreams, Simona.
Simona didn't even try to fight her thoughts anymore as she lay in bed. There are so many of them. Let them decide among themselves what I'll worry about tonight. Simona imagined falling asleep under someone's watchful gaze if he agreed to help. Oh, God. Surprisingly, falling asleep became easier. No nightmare can compare to that snake. Damn! Simona enjoyed her solitude and closed her eyes. She actually sang some this as a snake. Damn. Sleep didn't come quickly this time. It was only in the dead of the night that exhaustion set in. Yeah, because subconsciously we are tired of actually seeing the exact same thing over and over and over again. And I did say, if you actually have that much pain inside of you, you refuse to fall asleep. Like, this will be out of your control. You subconsciously refuse to fall asleep, because the second you do, the horrors of what you're trying to ignore all these times are being displayed in front of your eyes, and you don't want to see it. Her father met her in a field. They had plenty of time, but he still wouldn't waste it.
Whose side have you taken?
Simona was lost in his voice. She dissolved into his righteous anger, shrinking into a lump. Her father liked that, but this time he needed answers. One specific answer, to be exact.
You can still fix it. It's not too late.
I'm not gonna sacrifice myself. Shut the fuck up.
You can choose the true path. Listen to him, listen to the beast, follow his call.
No! The amulet CASSIEL had given her didn't just warm her skin, it burned, causing additional suffering. For some reason, she couldn't wake up this time. Yes, of course, because that bitch-ass power that is inside of the beast is refusing her. Like he's like trying to actually force us now to sacrifice ourselves in order for it to wake up. Like the danger is becoming more and more present, I would assume, and that's why the amulet is burning up, and we're trying to refuse. But I would say that this is now something magical, as in there is a spell that actually is not allowing us to actually wake up. You're just my nightmare. No, honestly, you're sick. I know it's a nightmare, but still, you're sick. Like, let's insult our fathers, considering the fact it's a nightmare. You always were. We should have you treated.
You should have your tongue cut out for saying that, you wrench.
Shut the fuck up, you little bitch.
Everything will burn to ashes. Everyone you love will die. Your new friends don't care about this world, don't care about humans.
But they do care about the arrival of the beast, and so in order for that beast not to show up, they will protect me.
They don't care about you.
No, you never cared about me.
With trash beneath their feet, open your eyes and see where they're leading you.
Her father grabbed his daughter by the hair and dragged her along the ground beneath them. He threw her to the edge of a pew. What the fuck? Simona clawed at the blood-soaked earth and howled. Oh, ew, all the people that were sacrificed. The endlessly vast pit was filled to the brim with corpses. It had no bottom, no edge. Yes, the beast, saying that we need to become part of that pit with those burned souls or whatever. There was only terror frozen in glassy eyes.
This is the price of your new faith. Count.
Choking on tears, she obeyed. Every number she uttered echoed with sharp pain in her heart, because each one carried a life that had been cut short. Simona was terrified by the disfigured faces. She squeezed her eyes shut painfully when the faces were familiar. She would stumble and start counting all over again, and again, and again. This night was truly endless. How come we have those disgusting nightmares? I don't understand. Why is no one actually giving us, like, closure? Her eyes were red with tears and clouded by haze. This is just a dream. Another dream. What is that we have in our hands? Just a little longer, and I'll wake up. She walked forward slowly. She dragged the spear behind her. Period. We're having the spear. The thin blade scraped against the floor, but none of the inhabitants reacted to the screeching sound. Because I'm asleep. No, we're not asleep anymore. Her legs wouldn't obey her. I feel like that the dark influence of the beast made us remain in that nightmare. And it actually made us wake up with the desire to carry out the order of what the beast actually wants from us. And apparently it wants that spear and our life. So right now we're actually dragging the spear in real life, I would assume, outside, and we're following the beast's call, which I don't know, maybe it's some church close by, maybe the one that we visited with Malik and Felonia, and there will be someone waiting to sacrifice us. Her legs wouldn't obey her. They carried her toward the bedroom of their own accord. Someone tried to stop, but her body didn't belong to her. What did I say? The door creaked softly, yielding to her trembling hand. Why is no one there? Like, is no one hearing things? Hold on. Hold the fucking phone. Is this mysterious voice trying to have us kill Raphael? Because of the power he has inside of himself? She wanted to sob, to sigh loudly, to reveal herself, but a deafening roar was the only sound. It echoed only in her head. Now save this world from destruction. What did I say? Why? Nah, y'all. I fucking hate this game. I'm not continuing.
Drive the spear through Raphael's heart, Simona. Do it.
Trembling with fear, Simona approached the bed. The metal of the spear gleamed in the moonlight, poised above the sleeping angel. Honestly, I don't understand that, though. Like, even though the scene is completely fucked up, and fuck you, and fuck the writers for actually making me go through this torment, but I thought that only angels are capable to kill one another. Or more like immortals. We're not an angel. How are we supposed to murder him? Does this weapon have like angelic capabilities or something like that? Wake up, I'm begging you. Oh no, I hate this. Please, someone. How is it possible that no one is actually hearing this? Aren't they supposed to have like sensitive hearing? Oh, of course. Of course that's how they would end. Nah, y'all, like they can all fuck off. Like, the episode that Raphael, my baby, my cutie pie, one of my soulmates, comes back onto the screen after David is taking up all the screen time, and we get like, 5% of Malik, MIKAEL, Raphael, and CASSIEL combined. They have us kill Raphael. I fucking cannot. Like, this is, in general, though, this is not a normal circumstance. Like, at this point, we would arrive at the moment where I would actually be willing to have myself, like, for the time being, I would have me locked up. Like, with the other man that was supposed to be sacrificed in a safe house in order not to actually hurt someone I care about. Like, the more we sleep, the more nightmares we get, and they become more frequent, more vivid, and now the voice of the beast actually took over our body in the present. So we are alive, we realize what's going on, but our mind and our body does not belong to us anymore. Right now, we're just a puppet for the beast, and the beast wants us to kill Raphael in order to get the powers that apparently are supposed to be his. And we can't do shit about it. Like, this is not a normal circumstance. Like, someone will have to do something. Because imagine if we're, like, locked in that safe house that's supposed to, like, protect us and everything for the time being until the beast is, like, captured. Imagine that the beast actually transmits some of its powers to us in order to have us escape that a prison that is supposed to be not capable to have anyone actually seek through it, but immortals, as in humans would be trapped in there, but immortals would be capable to get in. Like, imagine that. Then it gives us some of its powers in order for us to be relieved, and then we're still there. Still outside, still in danger, still a puppet. Nah. Like, someone actually needs to do something. But we will see what next episode will be like. I feel like this was the end. And I'm petrified. Not my Raphael. But we will see. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best. And I will see you in another video. Bye.